Very good caller to the show. We appreciate that. Jumping back a little bit, we were talking a little bit about Greg Cook and Indy Kalu moving from Sports Radio 610, if you haven't heard, to the morning lineup at Sports Talk 790. My sources tell me that will be a 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. slot. I'll go ahead and tell you now, I have no information that Dylan Gwynn will be removed from his 11 to 12 slot. I got a lot of comments about that. We got a lot of feedback on the blog about it, and we have no information that anything is going to be changing in regard to Dylan Gwynn. My sources tell me that Dylan Gwynn is liked by management there, in particular Brian Erickson, the program director, and my sources also tell me he's cheap, very cheap labor. I don't like the concept of back-to-back 1-hour shows, so maybe at some point Cook and Kalu will be a 10 to noon show and lead into Matt Thomas, and that will be ideal for listeners because clearly the intellectual capacity of this city is beyond that of Dylan Gwynn and what he does with his show. And I think that's pretty obvious from the feedback that we get from listeners. But more so than how this affects Sports Talk 790 and Sports Radio 610, what about 1560 The Game and ESPN The Ticket? My good friend Carl Dukes over at ESPN The Ticket. Well, they're not ESPN The Ticket. They're just 97.5 ESPN now. And then people over at 1560 like John Granado, Sean the Cablinasian, David Nuno, guys I like over there. What does this mean to those guys? I'll give you my quick take on it, and I'll let Angelo give you his. I think what this means for those stations is more of the same. Is you guys are not doing enough. You're not making enough moves. Craig Sheeman, C Notes by Craig on Twitter, is bad radio. As much as David Gower is a good guy, Craig Sheeman is bad radio on the other end of that spectrum. They can't seem to figure out middays over there. I'm still not buying into Travis Rogers. I know many of you like Travis Rogers, but I can swallow that one because he does have some name value, and he seems to be a pretty good professional. I give him credit in regard to how he reacts and responds to things, but I'm not a fan of his show by any means. I just think that 1560 The Game and ESPN 97.5 don't do enough. You don't shake things up enough. You're just going with the status quo, and it's not working for you on large scales. Maybe you're satisfied with the numbers. I doubt that. But I think you would like to be a little bit more relevant, a part of the city's, the culture of sports talk radio and the conversation. We have a unique city in regard to sports talk radio. Our sports talk culture is unique because of our listeners and how we kind of came to be. Credit John Granado and Lance Zerline for a lot of that. You know, we different here. I'll give HMW some credit. We have a big part in this thing because nobody does what we do in other markets on the level that we do it. So it's a unique culture of radio here. Well, don't you want to be a part of the day-to-day conversation, be a bit more relevant? Well, think outside the box a little bit. You know, get outside your comfort zone a little bit. Angelo, your thoughts?
Well, I agree. They're just not visible enough. I don't think. Even simple things like I didn't even realize that ESPN Radio had UT Athletics. You know, they don't market themselves very well. I just don't understand what they're doing. They're not innovative. They don't think outside the box.
Let me run through something with you real quick. Who does the morning show at 610?
Oh, Mark Vandermeer, John Lopez.
Followed by what?
Mike Meltzer, Mad Radio, and Brad Davies.
Followed by what?
Josh Ennis and the JNR Experience.
Followed by what?
Followed by Barry Warner and Sean Bajani.
Sports Talk 790, the morning show.
The Big Show, Matt Jackson, Adam Wexler, and Lance Zerline.
Followed by what?
Mighty Gwynn.
Well, now Indy Kalu.
Well, yeah, now Indy Kalu and
10 to 11.
But before that, Mighty Gwynn and then Matt Thomas and Charlie Palillo.
All right, 1560 The Game morning show.
I honestly can't really tell you their lineup because
you on Twitter every day. You were part of HMW. You listen around town. You don't know who does the morning show.
Yeah, the only thing I know, John Granado and Sean Cablinasian. I guess that's
the morning show.
Yeah.
What follows that?
You lost me now, to be honest.
Should I go any further?
No.
ESPN 97.5 morning show.
Well, outside of Mike and Mike,
Okay.
I listen to Mike and Mike every now and then. But
what follows that?
Cowherd.
And what follows that?
Some afternoon show. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making, guys. Who does drive time over at ESPN 97.5?
Well, I know Carl Dukes and Julie Takahashi do that.
Yeah, so I mean, you get my point, folks. Might want to shake things up a little bit, make a little bit more noise. If I'm 1560 the game and ESPN 97.5, I just think that you're not getting enough bang for your buck. But I'm very, very happy for Greg Cook and Indy Kalu moving over from Sports Radio 610 to Sports Talk 790. I give 790 some kudos for finally making that African American hire. I give you credit with that, and I'd like to see you guys grow a bit more. And I also like to give Sports Talk 790 credit for thinking outside the box and bringing in Adam Rapp and Sports Rap Live as a part of their lineup over there. All right, guys, hang in there. We appreciate Angelo Lawford joining us in studio. I think 2 African American chicks about to fight right out in front of the station, so I'm going to go out and record it with my phone and upload it to YouTube because I'm immature, and that's just where it's going to go down. Stay on. Don't change the station. Lloyd Guide is in the studio, and he has a lot to say. A lot to say. I'm telling you, I know the guy. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks.